Welcome to my studio, the first vlog in my new art studio, and I'm really happy about it. Maybe you saw the makeover. Everything is still very new and fresh. And I want to make these vlogs and updates inside my studio from time to time to take you with me how I work here and how I create art. And today I want to start a painting. I already prepared for that in my old studio and in the first vlog when I made a bunch of sketches and I tested out the motif, this hornbill. I saw this bird in Thailand, it was so cool, and I tested out some different poses and also some different colors, and today I want to choose which one I want to turn into an actual, like a whole painting. So that's what we're gonna do today, and I also want to finish it in this vlog, so stay tuned for the end. I hope there will be a final and finished result in the end. And there's also something else I want to share because I was thinking about this topic recently, and it's something I would say every creative struggles with from time to time, and that's creative block. And I know from my own story or history that so often in the past I was thinking I want to paint, I have all the fancy paints and colors and materials, but I just don't know what to paint. And in the end, I didn't paint anything because I had no idea. I thought I had no idea, but I think in real it's overwhelm. And I want to talk about this a little bit, and I want to show you how you can overcome this, how you can go one step after the other to really have an idea of what to paint. And I want to show you this, and the painting today is like the best example. But first, let's start painting. Let's have a look at the sketches. Okay, I decide for this sketch because the birds were like jumping around and they have been so funny and joyful, and I want to capture this, and I think this pose and this sketch really is the right one for that feeling. And for the color, I made these color sketches and I was a little bit torn between these two, and so have you been in the comments. Like, some love this more and some love this more. And originally I thought I want to take this blue color in the background, but somehow this feels right and I don't have any argument for it, it just feels right, so I will go with this one. The paper I already prepared yesterday. I want to work with this underpainting in this case. So I painted the whole page yesterday to let it dry overnight, and I already made the rough sketch earlier today, so we can start painting immediately. Let's start with this light blue for the sky. I want the background to feel loose and a little bit abstract, while the hornbill itself is more realistic. And I want the underpainting to shine through in some areas. The finished picture should feel like you look up into a tree, the leaves rustle in a breeze, and the sun shines through the foliage. Let's see if I manage to capture this feeling. While we start the painting, I want to talk about some simple steps that may help you to overcome a creative block. I believe most of the times when we don't know what to paint, we are overwhelmed because there are more than enough options out there. We find millions of reference photos online and as many ideas. But it's too much, so we end up painting nothing. What helps me in this situation is very down to earth and practical. It's all about making a plan and preparing before we even start painting. My painting today is the best example of this approach. It took me some specific steps to get here, and now I can paint with clarity and confidence. So, let me share the steps I feel are helpful to prepare for a painting project. First, always have a reference picture. I like to work from photos I took myself, but if you don't have the right photo, you can find one online. Just make sure it's okay to take it as a reference. Step 2 is to get clear on the basics, like the size of the picture, the format, and the material you want to use. In my case, I knew I wanted to paint the hornbill with acrylic gouache and the format should be A3. The next step is to make some sketches. These will help you to choose one reference picture if you have several. The sketches don't need to be as detailed as the ones I made for the hornbill. You can draw some graphite thumbnails or make small color studies. Whatever gives you clarity on what will work on your final painting is good. All this will help you to overcome the fear a blank page can cause. Just because you don't really start with a blank page, you start some steps before you even have to approach the blank page. This will make it way less intimidating. But maybe you are stuck even one step ahead of everything we just talked about. If it's hard for you to decide what motif to paint, start with a memory. Remember the last time you felt deeply happy and at peace. Think of the beautiful moments you experienced on your last holiday or a day trip into nature. You can even scroll through the gallery on your phone to find those moments. But always start with a memory. This will give you more motivation because the picture suddenly means a lot. Choosing a motif for a painting can feel extremely random, but if you start with a memory, you have a connection to your painting from the get-go. The whole story is in your head. What happened before and after, what you did, even the weather, and most of all, the feeling you had in that moment. I never thought that I would ever paint a hornbill. If it were an idea from the internet, that would be so random. But there's a story behind this painting. Imagine a small village surrounded by turquoise water and limestone rocks. You can only reach it by boat because the mountains rise too high into the sky to make a landway possible. No cars are allowed here. Everything is laid back and you feel like you just entered a tropical pirate hideout. Even though Riley in South Thailand is no secret anymore, it's all the above. It's a real escape from everyday stress, and it didn't take us long to unwind and enjoy just being here. If I were to choose one word to describe the place, I would be torn between joy and relax. Even the monkeys here are so chilled. But there was another animal that captured pure joy in my eyes. From time to time, we spotted a hornbill jumping in the trees above our heads, and soon it became Jonathan's dream to capture them on camera. Day 1 passed by, day 2, but no luck. On our last morning, we took one last walk down to the beach, and on our way back to the hotel, it happened. While I paint the hornbill itself, I look at my reference photo all the time. Even though I don't paint photorealistic, I need the reference to get it right. I'm pretty happy with how the head turned out, but with the swing on the top, I had a little struggle. However, the feathers on the tail were good at the first attempt. Somehow, it's hard to predict what part of a painting will flow easily and what will give you a challenge. When it comes to the background and the leaves, I focus more on the overall appearance and the composition of the painting as a whole. I even put my reference aside at this stage of the painting. Way too often we romanticize this creative process. It's almost like we wait for this mysterious feeling, this inspiration that need to hit us in order to be able to paint something. And it feels so mysterious, and it's not really something you can control or you can count on, actually. And I believe that too many of us are stuck in this conception or this idea of creativity. It was definitely like this for me, and I was somehow holding back my own creativity for years because I didn't understand that creativity is so much more practical than we somehow believe so often. And like years I wanted to paint, but I never knew what to paint. And I was just sitting there waiting for inspiration to come and to somehow hit me. And I always thought like, okay, when I feel inspired, I will know what to paint and then it will just happen. And in the end, I painted nothing. That was the result. And then, like a couple of years ago, I understood that creativity is so much more practical. It's something you can plan. It's something that's like the normal process of creativity is to plan out something. And when I understood this, it was so much easier to actually paint and to start something, to start and to actually do what I wanted to do all the time. And there are many ways to approach a painting. There are many ways to plan out your creative hobby or even a profession if it's a profession. But for me, it was a really game changer when I started to paint my memories, when I decided that I will start with a memory because it made everything so easy. Instead of just sitting in front of this white paper, I just knew what to paint. I had a bunch of ideas to choose from, but without the feeling of overwhelm. Yes, I still have to make a decision and I still have to decide what memory I want to paint today, but that's way easier. And I just want to encourage you, if you feel stuck, if you sit in front of your white paper, most of the time not knowing what to paint, start with a memory. It's so easy and it's just one way. It's my process. I shared with you today and I don't know if it's the right one for you, but it's definitely working for me. And there's one so beautiful aspect in this approach, which is if you start with a memory, you always will end up with a painting that has depth, that has meaning. It carries a story because you convey something or you preserve something that's meaningful for you because you always think of this holiday, this day trip, whatever you paint, whatever memory you connect to that painting. And even if the painting won't turn out as perfect as you wish, you probably will love it somehow because it has this meaning to you. And that's the most beautiful thing. And I think it's so much better to actually do something, to be in control, and to let go of this mystical concept of creativity, but to do instead and just start creating.